I always said I felt like crying on the camera was like cheesy. Like I felt like people who did that, like it's a tough thing to do. You know, like record yourself crying, watch that shit back, and post that shit. I don't know how. I don't know. I could never. Um, but I have been crying. I waited until I stopped crying to be able to record this. But I felt like this was an important message to share, and it was too important to go live on because this message needs to be saved. Because I felt like this would be more prominent on YouTube. So I wanted to save it on YouTube and probably like, just advertise people to go watch the video. Because I feel like this needs to be on a platform, like something concrete so it can be watched over and over. And I feel that way because it was so powerful a moment for me, for little old me. And I felt called to share it, as I do share a lot of different things that I, feel or experience or go through. This was quite moving. It was quite emotional. I did cry. I'm a crybaby anyway, but I did cry. Before we get into it, peep the link. Get into it. I don't know what y'all can see because I can't see, but peep the link. Anyways, this message felt important to share. So I'm just gonna get into it. Y'all know me, I talk a lot. I give all the details. So yeah. So I was having a conversation with my family via text. We have a group chat, a family group chat, as many of us do. And I've been asking a question for a few days about getting together, and nobody has really replied, But this is a typical thing for my family. Like somebody will throw something out there, let's do something. Nobody really says anything. So like sometimes we do stuff, sometimes we don't. Like it's just, and it's a hard thing too. Like it's like pulling teeth, trying to get people to respond, just say something, like show up sometimes, So anyways, it got kind of heated in the group chat when I brought this up. Because I've been asking something, nobody said anything, so I just spoke my mind. I just spoke my piece. I'm just like, we don't have to do anything. However, we shouldn't be okay with all this distance between us, But I feel like everybody doesn't have family. Like family is really something to be valued. Nobody I feel like really values it until they have their own children. And then it's only valued, for a certain period of time because we're also ready to get rid of our kids and, everything else. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. And not that we don't love each other, like my immediate family. Not that we don't love each other, not that we don't care about each other, and don't want nothing but the best for each other and, all that. I feel like there's never really been the vulnerable aspect of it. It's kind of like, I guess like a textbook relationship with my family, if that makes sense. Like I've never had super intimate connections with any of my family members. Like maybe the closest would be my little brother. When I say intimate, of course, I mean like really open, with our emotions and how we feel and like being there to comfort each other and, being that shoulder for someone to lean on and, in our lowest moments. So, my family has never really been that way. We've all typically dealt with our emotions privately, at least to my understanding. That's how it was for me. I know that's how it was my little brother. As far as my other siblings, like I said, we haven't had super deep conversations, about any of this. And so I've always admired that, when I've, seen that in other people or when parents can just like love you like your own and, things like that. Like when you meet them, like it's not like a fake thing. It's a real thing. Like I had a friend and her mother used to text me every day, just a good morning, love you, like how we have a good day, like just shit like that, like every single morning. And I've never even met her in person. Everything happens for a reason. Like and I feel like I've been blessed to be around people who treat me that way, who treat me with so much love and just, gentleness because I was a child, So my family's never really been that way. And it was getting heated in the group chat. I was getting pretty heated. My sister, it's always pretty much me and my sister. How cliche that is, the sisters arguing, whatever, fine. But it was getting pretty heated, and I took a moment to step back. I stopped replying. I wanted to reply. I even typed out some responses, but I deleted them. And I just didn't say anything for a while. And as I'm sitting on the couch, I'm just chilling. You know what I be doing. I was just chilling, and I'm just, thinking on the situation, here and there. I wasn't letting it get to me or ruin my day or anything or change anything. So I had the urge to clear the situation up. And I wanted to clarify what I meant and my intention of even saying anything in the first place about how our family needs to do better. So I sent a few messages and I just explained my piece, and I was just like, I didn't mean to offend, and I didn't mean to, it wasn't meant to take that personally. It was a family thing. You see my dog's paw. She's so weird. It was a family thing, and it was for, or maybe she's putting her paw to my heart chakra. Maybe she hit. She knows, so she feeling the vibes. But it was just on my heart, and I'm just in that space now anyway. I don't want to argue with anybody. I don't want to fight. That's not my intention either. With anything that I say. And sometimes I just have tough love, and that's just how I give love sometimes. People just need to hear shit for what it is. You don't always need shit sugarcoated, and I'm not gonna hold your hand through what needs to be learned. You gotta learn that shit. You just gotta do that shit. So I explained to them, I was like, I didn't mean to offend, but I did want to shed light on the fact that, as a family, I feel like we could do better, because there are people out here who don't have families and don't have the support that we give each other, and, don't have the mom that we have, and, things like that. So I'm just like, we need to, hold this closer, because it really is a precious thing. I told my sister that the way you say things is very triggering for me, essentially, is what I said. I said, I love you, but, this wasn't personal. This wasn't a personal attack. And so I get very defensive, and that's why pretty much, things got heated. And she replied back, and she said, no harm, and I don't know, I think she said no harm intended or something like that. And she said, love you too. And she said, I know I am always ready to fight, but I really wasn't trying to. And that was just, as I sat and thought about it, it was such a healing moment, because that was something that never would have happened in the past. To witness that and to know that I was the facilitator, it struck an emotional chord within me, and I began to cry, because that is healing. That is ancestral healing taking place. That is healing within my family. And thinking this, it made me get emotional, as I typically do when things, hit an emotional chord, and especially things like that. And so I started to cry. And for an instant, my mind went to this place where it was like a dark place. It's like a dark place that I don't ever venture into. That's the best way I can describe it, because I literally, in my mind, when I imagine what happened, I start to feel the emotion, but I tried to run away from the emotion. I didn't want to cry about the situation, right? I didn't want to cry about it. And this is where the whole thing gets good, y'all. The story was beautiful, yes. The healing, the forgiveness within the family, that's very important as well. That is very, very, very important. But this is where it gets powerful. And I've even have a meditation that I'm going to include. I just got the idea in my head just now. So I'm actually going to record the meditation and include it at the end of this video. I was experiencing the meditation itself, and that's how the meditation came to be. Does that make sense? I didn't come into this with a meditation. I just closed my eyes and meditated on the dark place. This is what happened. So I started to cry. I tried to turn away from the crying, and literally in my head, my energy turned away from the dark place. That's what happened. I went the other way. I'm not going to go here. Yes, it's a beautiful thing. I'm thankful for the healing. I'm grateful for the healing. But that's not what I want to do right now. And then I had a thought, and I'm like, what if I just go there? What's there? What's in the deep, dark place? Because the purpose is to heal, right? That's what it is. And I felt with the darkness, if it was a self-worth thing, peeking out from it. I don't know. It's so weird, y'all. It's not weird for me. It's probably weird to hear about. But so I decided to go to the deep, dark place. And I closed my eyes, and I just decided to go there in meditation. And I was like, all right, now what's in this deep, dark place? And when I say deep, dark, that's how it was. It was deep and it was dark. It was like I was down here, and there was like a doorway, like up and over, so it was like diagonal from me. But it appeared as if it was floating, and there was a light coming from it, and the light was shining right on me. And there was me, but I wasn't me, like in this body. Y'all want to know what I saw? It was like a pencil drawing of me, but it wasn't even me. It was like a little pen. I mean, it was me, but it was like a little pencil drawing, and it was little. When I say little, it was little, and there was like a little oval for the body, and there was little legs. One leg was like all crooked, and the other one wasn't as long as the other one, and I don't even know where my arms were if I had arms. I had a little, circle head, but my eyes though, they were these big circles, and of course you had the black dots as your pupils, and my eyebrows were just up like a sad face, with I was crying, but I was just, like real pitiful looking, like looking up at the light, and outside of that door and the light shining on me, there was darkness. It was just dark. That's the place that I was in. And as I looked up at the light, I'm like, what is it that makes this place so dark? And I started going through all these different feelings that I had of self-worth and the feeling of being discarded by other people. Like I felt like I was in that deep, dark place because I was thrown in there, but the door was still open and there was a light coming through because people want access to me, people want access to my energy. They want access to the light that I exhibit and shit. I was probably the light shining through the door. The door probably wasn't even the light. No, the door was the light. It was definitely the light. Let me finish meditation. The door was definitely the light shining on me. But that was the thing though. Like there was just, people were attracted to the light that shines on me, That's why I tried to sit in the sun too. Like it was like the sun was coming through perfectly for me, like in this little spot. I probably saw like right here. But the clouds, number one, just covered it up, and two, it's not over enough to where I thought it was about to be on me, but it kind of was. But in the meditation, it definitely was on me. And everything else was dark. And I just went through all these feelings like ooh, I thought of my mom and I's relationship and how much it has grown and just whatever. But what it used to be, because I still hold on to those feelings sometimes. And I think that's what I be expecting sometimes is my old mom, but I don't live in that paradigm anymore. Neither does she. Not that we are in the same paradigm, but I don't live there. Neither does she. We're in whole different paradigms. And literally in our relationship, we are different. Like we have a much better relationship than we've ever had. And when I got to my dad, I cried hard. I wasn't expecting that, but I cried hard. I feel like I released a lot just now. But I cried hard, and apparently there's just a lot of pain that I still feel from just not having my dad, like growing up, and just the fact that, he's in the same city, and, he wasn't there for me as a kid, and then, I grow up and I decide to give him the opportunity to be my dad, and you literally like walked out. Like if y'all watch my documentary, I'll try to tag it somewhere here if I can figure out how to do that. Oh, I know how to do that. I'll probably try to tag it somewhere here so y'all can watch my documentary. I spoke about it briefly. I didn't really like have a segment dedicated to my dad because I didn't interview my dad for the documentary, but I had a letter to my father that I didn't even write it. I just freestyled it. Just what I felt on my heart about my dad, and all that came out about him. But when I got to him in the deep dark place, and I called it the pit of pain. That's what I called it. That was so powerful when that came to me. And I was like, it wasn't even like, it came to me, but it wasn't just me with the thought. I don't think it was a thought, it was a voice, because the voice said, let's call it the pit of pain. So it was a let's thing, and it's powerful, y'all. Because I just realized that just now too. Damn, that's so powerful. I can't. I can, but I can't. So powerful. So the voice said, let's call it the pit of pain. So I'm just thinking about all these things that have brought me pain. And after I stopped crying, I was like, all right, now what do we want to do to get to this door? So I started to feel around in the dark. And I felt around and I found the light switch, turned the light on. Now it's not dark anymore. It's deep, but it's not dark, So now I can see around and I'm seeing all these boxes and just all types of shit. It was just like a abandoned like storage place or something, And I start opening these boxes and I'm finding materials to build a ladder. And I have already an acronym with ladders, and the fact that the ladder came back up was so powerful to me, because the ladder to me represents step by step. You can't just start from the bottom and go straight to the top. It's a step-by-step thing. The rungs have to be a certain distance so that you're still able to take the step, successfully, and, keep moving up, and then you get to the top, because I'm a person who likes to rush things. So seeing the ladder brought so much significance to me anyway. So I'm like, all right, I got to build a ladder. So I started to build this ladder, and it gets tiring, and building a ladder is kind of hard, because I've never built a ladder before, and I know it takes strength to, it takes strength of a ladder to be able to carry someone to the top, So I'm knowing that each rung has to be secured very tightly, and, take my time with this and make sure I'm testing the rungs out before I take the step, and things like that. And it's just a powerful acronym, for life, and that things take time, because I really be trying to go, I don't know, I fall into this worry that I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm not in the position to get there. I'm a failure. I just start thinking of all these different things, that subconsciously keep me held back only a little bit, because I do go after a lot of shit. I'm not going to lie. Fear doesn't really, I can acknowledge fear, and I think that's why I'm able to move past things. There's the sun. I think that's why I'm able to move past things, because I can acknowledge when I'm just being scary and when I really need to do something, But anyways, the ladder. So I'm starting to feel around and build a ladder, and eventually I build this ladder. So not only is the place not dark anymore, now it's not about to be deep anymore because I have a way out. And to me, it was symbolism for finding a way out of pain, pain is there to give you tools to overcome it. That's the reason, but it seems so scary and so dark because when we're in it, we're so hurt, we're so sad, and that's all fine, because you should feel your emotions. You should do all that, because only after you do that do you see the solutions. Do you even begin to want to see a solution, And that was me all right, let me go find the light switch, so I could turn the light on and see what the fuck is going on. Where am I? You know what I'm saying? And what am I doing here? And how do I get out of here? I don't want to stay here. And that's what pain will do for you. It'll help you see a way out of the pain, because pain puts you in a position to want to get out of it. That's what it's for. You have to find a way out of it. Unless you don't. That's when you walk around angry. Everything's triggering to you. You get pissed off easily. You're irritated easily. You're bothered. You're upset. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't even know what it is, because you don't know that this is all just stored pain, inside of me. And that's why this certain thing is so triggering to me. I can't really tell you why, but you shouldn't do it, But once you know your pain and why, you feel that way, you're able to understand your behaviors and your actions and why you do the things that you do. I finally was able to climb the ladder. So I'm climbing the ladder and I'm getting out. And I go through the door and into just white light clouds, everything, and I'm just falling and I'm floating on these clouds. And then I finally reach a cloud and I'm just laying there, I'm just chilling on the cloud. And God came and spoke to me. And I mean God, I knew it was him from the voice. And I won't go into detail because everybody's encounters with God is different. He literally told me that he came to me this way because he knew that I would be able to identify who he was. I would be able to understand his voice and be able to know this is God. That's how it was for me. Things happen differently for different people. I also feel led to say that it's not always going to be God. Whenever you do this meditation, it's not always going to be God that you encounter. Because initially I was expecting to meet an ancestor or something of that sort. So it can honestly be whoever you call upon. I don't feel like I really called upon God. I feel like God called upon me. And when he identified himself as God and me recording this video, I realized that was him saying, let's call it the pit of pain. When God came and spoke to me, I can't even finish this video without speaking on what just occurred. A gnat just flew in my mouth. A gnat flew in my mouth and it went immediately to the back. Why? immediately to the back. I just gagged my whole life away. I pray to God that motherfucker flew out my mouth, man. So I went to go drink some water, just in case it actually did fly in my mouth, because I just don't want gnat sitting in my mouth. So I just drank some water to flush it down. I am perturbed. That is the energy change. I couldn't continue the video because the energy, I couldn't continue it without saying that, because the energy was going to be different. So to finish the meditation, essentially I just had a conversation with God. And, you know, he was speaking to me about, you know, maybe it's supposed to be a mystery because I cannot recall what we were speaking about. I just sat here and tried to think of it, but maybe it was just for me to know. But the one thing I do have permission to say is he told me that I was protected by him. I felt these wings and I felt them grow from me and I felt them cover me. And they were big and they were white. It was a very powerful moment. And when I recognized that I was God, I cried. I cried hard. I cried hard. That's how I knew it was really him, because I was crying. I was humbled in his presence. So that's the meditation, and I will include the official meditation at the end of this video, linked to the end, where there would just be a screen, pretty much of probably some nature scene, and I will guide you through the meditation. So thank you for watching this video. I hope this story inspires you. I hope you do the meditation as a shadow work meditation. It could be really beneficial, really helpful, because I really feel very, very relieved after that. I feel lighter. Like I feel like I let like a weight off, you know? And that's not to say that these things are just automatically all the way healed and I'm just some perfect insecure being, or some super secure being, walking around. I'm not saying that, because it's definitely going to take time, but just to know, like, the awareness of it and the fact that I could get out of it, it took me out of it in that moment. I just saw 444, and 444 for me is stability, is protection, it's safety. I hope you do the meditation. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe for more content like this, because this honestly was a spur of the moment thing. But I felt like it was only right. So if this is where we depart, I love you. Peace. Welcome to the Pit of Pain guided meditation. This meditation was born to assist with the navigation and release of pain that sits deep within, that is blocked or willfully ignored. Please sit with the emotion as long as you need to help release and transmute it. Let's begin. Begin by sitting or laying in a comfortable position. Feel free to use crystals, incense, or any other spiritual tools you possess to enhance your meditation. Allow yourself to feel into the ground below you. Take note of how the ground is always there to support you. Whenever you begin to become ungrounded, remind yourself that the ground provides stability. We are now going to use our breath to enter the trance. Take a deep breath in through your nostrils for 4 counts, hold for 5, and release slowly through your mouth for 6. Do this 3 times. When you inhale energies like positivity, love, joy, peace, stillness, happiness, faith, and abundance. When you exhale turmoil, stress, lack, doubt, fear, burdens, shame, guilt, anger, and know that they have no place in your being. You should now feel slower, stiller, and more rhythmic to your body. In your mind's eye, in the blank canvas that is your mind, envision yourself in a dark room. The whole room is pitch black. The only light comes from a door. This door is elevated above you and away from you. Through the door shines a light that lands only on you. Everything else is black. This room is called the pit of pain. In this room, you have been discarded by others. But the door remains open because they still want access to you, into the light that only you bring. In this pit of pain, begin to feel every emotion that you have dared not to feel because it hurts too much. It's too painful to feel. You're too angry to feel it. It's too much to deal with. In the pit of pain, there is darkness. The darkness is able to absorb the frequencies of all of these energies that you bring, even if you can't. Allow yourself to feel the pain, the shame, everything that holds you back from being the person that you are meant to be. If the pain comes from family, allow yourself to feel it. If the pain comes from the burden of healing your family, allow yourself to feel it. If your pain comes from not knowing what unconditional love truly is or what it looks like, allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to feel your codependency, your insecurities, the things that make you cry and keep you up at night that you don't want anyone to know about. The pain that you feel from being a mother, a father, a son, or a daughter, and what comes with these positions in your life. Allow yourself to feel through the pain and sit with it. Question it so you can find a way to eradicate it. When you are ready and you have enough control over your emotions to continue, but only when you are ready, begin to feel around in the dark. Leave the light that shines only on you. Reach out for a wall. When you find the wall, feel it for a light switch and flip it on. Now the light is on and it's no longer dark. You're still in the pit, but the pit is no longer dark. And as you look around, it looks like you're in an old basement with storage everywhere, boxes everywhere, dust. As you begin to open the boxes, you begin to find materials to build a ladder. You find enough materials that the ladder that you build will be big enough and strong enough to climb up to the door. Take your time in this phase to build your ladder. Make sure the ladder is sturdy enough. Test it out before building the next rung to make sure that the ladder can support your weight. Once you finally make it to the top of the ladder and you're able to see through the door, you see unending and uninterrupted white. The color white fills the entire space. Allow yourself to fall through the door into the white space. As you enter the white space, you find yourself floating, and that there are clouds everywhere. And as you float through the clouds, very peacefully, as if you're being carried by them, you land on a cloud. As you rest, after releasing everything that the pit of pain brought up for you, and after you found your way out of the pit of pain, and think about what you had to muster up, the courage and the strength to build the ladder to get out, invite someone very close to you, dead or alive, to come be with you in that space. Visualize them either emerging from the door or emerging from the whiteness to come be next to you on the cloud. Have a conversation with your guest. Tell them whatever's on your mind Whether this is a friend who you just want to have fun with, release the stress of what you just felt, or an ancestor for comfort, for guidance moving forward, or the Creator Himself for your purpose and for your mission. Allow a few moments for the conversation to take place. Now begin to say goodbye to your visitor. Be sure to thank them for their time, wish them well, and bid them adieu. Begin to feel into your body. Wiggle your toes, move your fingers, and allow yourself to come back to this 3D realm that is Earth. When you are ready, open your eyes. Thank you for joining me on this meditation. I hope it was releasing for you, and repeat it as many times as necessary whenever you begin to feel stagnant energy. Begin to enter your energy field. Whenever you're confused, irritable, angry, revisit this meditation to help alleviate those feelings of stress. With love and powerful intention. Peace.